Hey guys, it's Kuma. Today I'm bringing you another keybindings guide for Monster Hunter Wilds. We're going to be taking a look at the Gunlance today, and I'll be re-keybinding any awkward buttons I find. Remember guys, this isn't going to be a guide on how to play the Gunlance, but instead use it as a starting point as you begin to learn this weapon. If you're new to my guides, my process for the keybindings is as followed. If there are any buttons or skills that we need to press that interfere with our movement, the W, A, S, or D keys, then I try to move that key binding somewhere else, either a button for my thumb, my pinky, or my mouse hand. If the skill keeps us stationary and we are forced to stay still while we use that ability, then it's fine as is to keep as a button near our movement keys. If this kind of key binding layout seems cool or interesting to you, then stick around for the key binding guide. So starting off with buttons that interfere with movement, we have a pretty important button for us that we have to change. Our guard special weapon action is set to the R key. This is our guard ability. Let me explain why we don't want to have this on R. With the on-screen keyboard overlay, look at how I seamlessly move in all directions and dodge around with my spacebar. The dodge is a great skill to use as an example. It's a button that does not interfere with our movement keys, and while using my fingers to press W, A, S, or D, my thumb is free to press spacebar. And I can keep the fluid movement going. Now our guard skill is a skill that we hold down in order to raise our shield, and we still have the option to move or rotate our character in any given direction. However, because it is set to R, our index finger has to be preoccupied holding down that key, and suddenly it becomes very awkward for us to hold our shield up and rotate our character to the right. So let's fix this. Open up weapon configurations, create a new profile for the Gunlance, then scroll down and take a look at our special weapon action. Originally I wanted to set this to our right click, but then I realized we can use our shelling skill while moving, and I figured that right click for our shelling attack is a great button. Therefore I'm freeing up the V key to make this our special weapon action, and I'll explain my reasoning. So let's change the guard special weapon action to V and get rid of these conflicting keybinds. Scroll down to the keyboard shortcut controls and change the display keyboard shortcut from V to Alt. Then scroll back up and delete Alt from the focus mode press once hotkey. I do this with all my weapons so I can just tap Alt to see my consumables. But even now I have my consumables memorized and I just press the corresponding number on my keyboard to use my items. With that out of the way, let me explain why V is a good button for us. With my insect glaive, I'm either dodging on the ground or I vault and dodge upward with the V key. My thumb only needs to choose one button or the other. With my longsword and switch axe, I dodge with spacebar or I counter with V. My thumb is in charge of my defensive options. I have to make a choice if I want one or the other. Never do I have to use both options at the same time. So in this case with Gunlance, I'm either going to dodge or I'm going to raise my shield. And while holding down the V key, I'm not interrupting my movement, so I'm free to rotate my character in any direction while raising my shield, and there's no more awkwardness. The other abilities we can use while our shield is up is also not awkward, nor do they interfere with our movement. We can easily hold down V and perform any of the moves shown here. Now that that's settled, let's move on to the remaining buttons. Our next key binding is our simultaneous action Y plus B, which for us keyboard players is just the left click and right click at the same time. By default it is bound to our mouse button 4. This is a pretty solid button. Now for me this doesn't happen often, but there have been times with other weapons where I do press my left click and right click at the same time and the game only registers one button and not both. My timing could use some work, so I enjoy having these multi-buttons on a singular key binding so that it always guarantees both of them are pressed at once. Now here in the training area we have a Wormstake full blast combo that it teaches us. It starts with a right click into a forward left click into a simultaneous action of left click and right click, and then the combo ends with either a left click or a right click. So that third input for the combo requires 2 buttons, so having that simultaneous action on mouse button 4 guarantees we don't drop the combo. But also check this out. You can also get to the final hit of the combo, the multi-worm strike full blast, just by mashing mouse button 4. You'll do some different attacks, but the end result still gets you to that pretty sweet finisher of the combo. I'm not a Gunlance expert by any means, but if I was a beginner learning this weapon, I'd probably start with that easy one button mashing combo until I became more comfortable with this weapon. Let's look at our next simultaneous actions. For experimentation purposes, I'll use the Z key to see what these buttons do, and I'll let you know if these actions need a keybind. The next action on our list is the simultaneous action right trigger plus Y. The skill raises our shield and executes a guard thrust. We don't need a key binding for this, as all we have to do is hold up our shield with our V key and left click to execute the attack. Super easy to do, and it does not need a button on its own. Just hold V and mash left click to do the lunging strike combo, and then while still holding onto V, you can press the mouse button 4 to execute Wyvern's Fire. This move can also be done without the need for a combo. Just press V plus mouse button 4, assuming your gauge on the top left is full, and you'll execute Wyvern's Fire. Our next simultaneous action, right trigger plus B, is our reload. With our current key bindings, we can just press V plus right click to perform a reload. Or anytime we are using the right click to shoot our shells, we can just press V plus right click to quick reload as well. This one can be your personal preference. V plus right click isn't so complex, and if I'm out of shells, I only need to right click once to reload all my shells in my shell gauge at the top left. In any game where I shoot a gun, R is usually my reload, so I feel comfortable making our reload skill the R key. This skill does not interfere with our movement since we only have to tap it, and we can continue moving right away afterwards. Let's open up our weapon configuration and change this from our experimentational Z key to the R key we freed up earlier. But now we have a conflicting keybind. So just like in some of my other weapons, I'll scroll down to the mounted weapon attacks and change my weapon finisher from R to F. On the off chance that we do mount a monster with this weapon, once we create a wound, we just have to press F now instead of R. Think of F as in finisher. Something else I wanted to add that I just learned is that you can perform a quick reload right before you get hit, and you will perform a perfect guard and instantly get all of your shells back. Pretty neat. So the R key also works as a type of counter for us that gives us our shells back if we execute it at the right time. The next simultaneous action, RT plus A, doesn't do anything for us, so we can skip it. It only dodges. This last simultaneous action, our RT plus Y plus B, is our Wyvern's Fire, and I think Z is a great key binding for this skill. This isn't a skill we spam since we have to build up our gauge, and it does not interfere with our movement. When we press the button, we are 100% committed to staying stationary to execute one of our strongest attacks. So Z is a pretty nice button to have since we don't press it as often and it's not too out of the way for us. Lastly, this is a weapon that has many benefits while using it in focus mode. While in focus mode, certain combos do push us further into the monster, allowing for easier gap closing. We can also turn our camera during certain moves and our character will turn directions and attack to where we are facing while focus mode is on. So open up weapon configurations and let's set our focus mode hold to press once instead. Now we can just toggle it on with a quick press of the mouse button 5 and we are free to use the rest of our buttons as needed. That was all for the Gunlance, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're new here, enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. I started YouTube 2 months ago and I'm happy with all the feedback and support you all have given me. I want to continue making quality videos for you all in the future across many games. If this video was helpful, leave a like. If I missed anything or you have any better suggestions, leave a comment down below. Thank you guys, take care.